Okay, we are now on ABC Clio, right? Once you've logged in, and again, you get that at the same place, the Burns Library Canvas page. So we also have another up here. It says Bloomsbury Digital Resources and ABC Clio. I believe they bought out ABC Clio. Anyway, ABC Clio is a social science uh, database. So we have four of their different smaller databases. They're right here. Okay, American government, American history, and then world and ancient medieval and world modern era. Okay, so they have many others, America at war and so on, but we don't. I don't have those at this point. Um, anyway, we could search all databases at one time, and these are my search terms right now. This is what I'm starting out with. Okay, I want the background because I'm working on uh, setting, characterization, things like that. So I want to get the setting of where it's at, where does it take place, where does Huck Finn take place. So that's why I'm here, Mississippi River. Okay, I'm gonna get basically historical background. We'll even get something on Twain himself, who was actually Samuel Clemens. All right, so I've run the search already. And these are the results, 474 items for the Mississippi River. That's a key setting, okay? All right, so we have a lot of results. I could take the time and try to sort them out, or putting filters in, okay? Um, I don't know. Might as well just try it. Let's just go ahead and try it. Reference articles and biographies. Um, let's see. I don't think I'm going to cut it down anymore. I don't want to go too far. I'll just hit apply. All right. So now they also give you time periods. So that's very nice. It's a history database, so they should give you something like that. So I like this first one. I'm just putting check marks here. There's another function for this. You can save things to a folder, I think, if you wanted to, but I don't have time to go into that. So I'm just going to do this for myself so I can remember which ones I liked and I want to read later. So this is about the Mississippi River, and the time period is the expansion and reform, which is from the 1790s to the 1850s. So that is the era that Huckleberry Finn was written about. Um, Now, the flood in 1927, don't need to do that one because that's after that time. So this one is before Robert LaSalle, who was an explorer and made his expedition down that river. Okay. Um, Again, these are all before, so I'm going to keep scrolling through here. Here, Mark Twain. There we go. There's his biography. Okay. Okay. If you were looking at anything having to do with Native Americans, if you were, I'm trying to remember exactly where they might have been in the story, and I cannot remember. So I'm going to ignore that for now. But you got to figure there's got to be some Native American happenings going on behind the scenes, especially if it's in Missouri. Um, but again, that's not the focus of my project here. Okay. So, Illinois, that's probably where it begins. You don't need to worry about those. Some of these are far too early. Now, here are the Adventures of Huck Finn. Excuse me. We don't need that because we already know the story. Okay. All right. Here we are, Indian removal eras. Here's one happened in that time. Yeah. When they were removed from lands east of the Mississippi River and they put them in the west. Isn't that nice? Right, where they wouldn't be able to grow any crops or, yeah, just just that's our wonderful background of our country. As great as our country is, it's not a good scene or a good act. Anyway, that again is not in my. Anyway, you may be making some observations, kind of like I am, just as you see things and read a few of these as you go by, you might get some thoughts. Okay, so that might be a time to go ahead and choose that, one of these articles if it made you think about something. So we definitely want a biography of him, but here's the Mississippi River. Okay. Early exploration, Louisiana Purchase. Here they mention that's Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens. Okay, so a lot of this will have something to do with our story. Okay, again, this is background stuff. Here we're talking about river culture. Okay, see if any of that has something to do with it. Again, I don't know, so I'm just going to go with okay. I like this article because it's the basic thing about it. It gives a background of how it was explored, the Civil War, Mark Twain, the Purchase, so on. Okay. So it's kind of the whole story, at least in a condensed format. Anyway, here's a picture. Okay. All right. So again, we have a citation option. Here you'll have to, there are no copy buttons. So for MLA, you'll take this and copy, and I would drop it in my Google Doc in Drive. Okay. And start just like we did with the others. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back to my results and I want to look at the Mark Twain. This all serves as historical background that I might cover in my essay on setting and symbolism and other literary devices. Okay, so these on the side are other places to get other relevant articles that have to do with the one that we've got open right now. Okay. I already did a citation, grabbed that. It's ready for my works cited. Okay, so we have photos. We have a photo right there. Cultural documents. Okay, so if you see on the first page of the LibGuide that I'm giving you, we're talking about, I mentioned primary and secondary sources, documents. Okay, so this would be what's called a primary document because it has to do with the government and it's a cultural document. So let's just see what that is. See if it's any different from this, and then I can determine. Okay. Okay, so this is just another another article. So it's not really so, but sometimes they will include things that are primary sources. Okay. So I'm going to go back. All right. Mark Twain, quote on Congress. Okay. So anything that people say, people who lived during the time and had something to say about what they witnessed. For instance, in this case, Mark Twain, he he's very familiar with that area in the river in Missouri. He used to work on one of those steamboats. Um, we have a lot of this. So at some point, he went and talked to Congress. Okay, so when he makes quotes, stories about him or people who were talking with him, okay, um, he was born in a town called Florida, Missouri. And I believe Hannibal, Missouri was part of the setting, this too. So, anyway, quotes. Anytime you see a quote and it has something to do with talking about something that you're looking at, that would be a primary document. Okay. So, this might be helpful. Life on the Mississippi. It's an autobiographical reminiscence of Twain's years training to become a riverboat pilot. Okay. That too, that's his firsthand account of what was happening. Autobiographies. Not every autobiography, by the way, is considered truth. For instance, Benjamin Franklin's is largely thought of as a piece of literature, um, which would not be nonfiction. It would be fiction. Okay, so it's again one of those unreliable narrator situations. Okay, again, you may or may not need primary documents in what you're doing because you're, for the most part, talking about literature. So if you need help finding those types of documents, please come and talk to me or send me an email because, again, I don't know how you're going to arrive at what you want to discuss in your paper. So you may need things like that. Well, I can help you find them. Okay. So I can't possibly cover everything that any student may come up with for his what to write about in his paper. So that's when you need to ask for help at the library. And of course, my staff, Mr. Hayes, Mr. Lancaster, they're also available to help. But if you want to get something quickly, you shoot me an email and we will, I can help you find things. Okay, so it's a little different than just right here. I'm showing you how to do the research, how to go about things, because we want you to actually try it yourself. However, part of my job is to make sure that you do find things. Okay, once you've demonstrated that, hey, I looked here, Mrs. Hannah, I looked there, I can't find exactly what I'm looking for. So then I would help you by trying to figure it out what it is you're exactly looking for, and then we'll try to get it for you. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and we'll see you in the library when you come down with Mr. Yim as a class. All right.